I did see a few of the crazy tour stories. And let me tell you, so I've only been on tour for about a year now. So when I started with Monique, I met her in November of 2018 because I posted on Instagram. I was like, yo, I see Monique is coming to town. Y'all know how I feel about her. I need all of my Instagram friends to tag her and tell her to let me open up for her. And they did, and she responded and was like, okay, well, meet me at, the Improv in Schaumburg. And I was like, nah. And so I ended up going, and she invited me on tour with her. Well, we did one date in LA, right? That night, she was like, look, I'm sorry. We got to cancel the tour. I know I said that I was taking you. And right before I could get sad, she was like, they just offered me a residency in Las Vegas. Do you want to go to Vegas? Hell yeah, I want to go to Vegas. So the majority of my tour, we spent the first 7 months of last year in Vegas. And I think some of the craziest things to ever happen was like the people that would show up. Like I met Mike Tyson, right? And you think Mike Tyson, you think fighter, you think hangover. Mike Tyson was in dad clothes with the big baggy jeans and the worst pair of white gym shoes I have ever seen in my life. Like he was but he was so nice and so docile. And I'm like, none of the shit that they say about you is real. Like seriously. Here's something really crazy that happened. Monique and I do this thing called Funny is Funny, right? That means no matter where you are, no matter what you're doing, no matter what you're wearing, funny is funny. Well, one night we decided we're gonna go on stage in swimsuits. That's how we doing our comedy. It don't matter. If you funny, they'll pay attention to it. Well, 5 minutes into my set, we encountered, one of the biggest earthquake last year and one of the biggest earthquakes in years on the West Coast. And baby, when I tell you, I was in the middle of my set and shit started swaying and I started getting a little motion sickness and I'm like, what did I drink? And then the bird cages started swinging and people were looking at me and I'm like, I don't know what this is. And so they start turning the lights on, right? So I come over to the corner and the shit started to come down. I'm like, I don't know what y'all think that I'm supposed to do. I heard Monique yell from the back, Correy. And I said, ma'am. And she said, that bitch fine. Turn these lights off and get this show going. And I'm like, ma'am, I was just in the middle of a goddamn earthquake. She was like, funny is funny. Now, when you say that, that's the charge. Like, you can't even argue with it. So I had to go back out there. And the only thing I can think of was just to be honest and transparent. I said, look, I'm from Chicago. Tornadoes, thunderstorms, flash floods. I even know how to dodge a bullet depending on the neighborhood because that's where I grew up in. I don't know what the fuck to do when the ground moves, okay? Like that's not my thing. And right then, they just began to trust me again and we just rolled with that fucking show. But I'd never been in a goddamn earthquake. I kept saying, what if I die in this swimsuit? Like what if something, like they gonna find me in a swimsuit and be like, what the fuck were you doing? Like what were you doing in this goddamn swimsuit on stage? But when I tell you, it has been a ride, baby. Rolling with Monique, baby, it's a ride. Do you hear me? And for right now, I never want to get off. That lady crazy. But she's everybody's auntie. You know what I'm saying? I've met Mike Tyson, Gary Payton, which was really cool. What, the glove? Is that his name? He used the glove. Oh, God. Anthony Pettis. Anthony Pettis, the MMA fighter, was the first celebrity that I met in Las Vegas. And he had so much fun that he was like, look, I want you to put my chain on. Put the Pettis chain on. I want you to wear the chain. Now the Rolex. Put the Rolex on. You got to take the picture. And I'm like, now this is all new to me. I don't know what's going on. I'm like, this is so cool. Anthony Pettis wants me to wear his chain and where's Rolex? We took the pictures. It was like, thank you so much. It was nice to meet you. He was like, nah, we good. Go ahead and keep that. I was like, this nigga is out his mind. If you think that I'm gonna wake up tomorrow morning and I got a Rolex on my arm and a chain on my neck, y'all don't think that I know that it'll be some bouncers standing at my door telling me that I have robbed one of the best MMA fighters in the country. I was like, nah, brother, this all yours. You keep that. He was like, are you sure? Because my Lamborghini or Ferrari, whatever it was, was out. But it wasn't like, hey, girl, I'm trying to pick you up. It was like, you were so amazing. You should have this. And I was like, whatever he's drinking, I don't want none of that shit. I don't want none of it. George Wallace, hilarious, like everybody's uncle. He won't remember your goddamn name. He will not remember your name. He'll call you everybody. But he was one of the most warm and most welcoming people. But I was like, if I have to go through like the list of people, I met some of my idols, Eric B and Rakim. Rakim was there. I'm like, wait, which one is the thin one? That's Eric. Eric B was there. See, this is how you know I'm old. Eric B was there. To be able to meet somebody of that caliber and be like, dude, my teachers used to make us listen to this during our testing. Like we got a lot of funny stories and memorable stuff, but it was like just the people that I was able to encounter was so cool. Like Vegas, anybody shows up. Anybody and everybody. Floyd Mayweather's people would be there all the time. Like, people like, dude, it's Floyd Mayweather and his people. And it's like, yeah, that's pretty cool. I'm like, no, you don't get it. And they're like, yeah, we see these people every day. So I was starstruck for a year, like a little kid. It was fun.